This has been a Clear Springs Entertainment production. On this episode of Parx-e Trip Across America. For Chris Parke, America is a way of life for him. He loves to go back every chance he can get, to meet new people and to catch up with old friends. So for 5 weeks, he explored America again. And along the way, he interviewed some cool people and explored some cool new cities. From New Zealand to America, watch as he explores America and interviews some cool people. This is Parx-e Trip Across America.
I can't find the words, couldn't lie if I wanted to. I'm so bad at missing you that I can't find the words. I can't kill the pain, ain't nothing strong enough. I get knocked down and I get back up, but I can't kill the pain. Kinda like a knife sticking out of my back, warm and smooth like a shot of Jack. One beat shy of a heart attack, but I'll keep on running. Closing in on a long cold night, neath the glow of a neon light. I take a breath to save my life, but it keeps on coming, coming. Every night it keeps on coming. I can't hide the shame, no smile that I put on can veil the fact that you're still gone. And I can't hide the shame, I can't tell my heart, doesn't matter what I do, I'm never getting over you. So I can't tell my heart.
Simple as possible.
Okay.
So basically, you got your start in a radio station where you did this competition, and the station was The Buzz.
1029 The Buzz, yeah.
So how did you learn? What did you like the most about being at the radio station and learning to be a DJ, and what did you gain from that?
The on-air concept of it. I had done a lot of speeches, but they had been pre-written. So being live on air and really learning to watch what I say and be very coherent of the words that come out of my mouth, that was a whole new training in itself.
So how did you, learning from being a DJ to now working for car companies, how did that experience from doing that, from being in car companies?
That kind of transitioned over because I did do a lot of MC work. One of the first gigs I landed with a company that I'm still with now, I was emceeing for the Chevy truck tour that they were doing. So, you know, still having that live concept, because you're live on the mic, you're getting to interact with the audience, which is great. It kind of brought back memories of being at the radio station and doing live events. So it's definitely helped me just with my presenting skills, and again, you know, being aware of what I'm saying and engaging the crowd.
So how did you get involved with car companies in the first place?
Yeah, so I grew up on a farm, driving four-wheelers and trucks and trailers, so I had a little bit of off-roading experience with that as a background. And then I had a couple really good friends of mine that were driving for Camp Jeep, and they were like, hey, we need some more chicks that would be willing to learn how to drive these things and, you know, isn't afraid to get on the gas a little bit and has some experience. Would you be interested in trying it out? And I was like, yes, this is perfect. Like, I love doing that kind of thing, and had always done it, you know, as a hobby. So the fact to get to do it as an occupation thrilled me. And I did well my first gig, and they decided to keep me. And then I started traveling all over the U.S. Driving for Jeep and Ram trucks. And then that kind of progressed to some different brands that I work with now.
So how many brands do you work with in total?
It varies. It depends, because I'm an independent contractor, so I'm able to work with multiple different companies. But I've worked with brands such as Porsche, BMW, all your GM brands, so GMC, Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, done some stuff with Lincoln, and then also a couple things here and there with Lexus as well.
So do they have a problem with you working with different companies, or because you're independent, it doesn't matter?
It depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to be a spokesperson, like a main spokesperson, or doing like an ad campaign or something for them, it's a little trickier. They don't want you to have done that kind of thing with other brands in the past. But if you're just doing, you know, some of the live events or the auto shows or that kind of thing, they appreciate people that have experience in the different brands, because you're better able to compare competitors, and you know a pretty solid background of how the vehicles work, because in a sense, you know, they all have an engine and work the same when you break them all down.
Nice. So what is the highlight from doing all that?
Traveling and getting to drive some amazing cars. Definitely. Both I'm very passionate about and love, so that it always puts a smile on my face when I know I'm headed out to an event where I'm going to get to drive some new vehicles.
So why do you, this is a good question which I've been asked, why do you think America loves cars? Because I've noticed being in Nashville, in the CBD, there are footpaths, but when you get into the suburbs, there's no footpaths.
It's a very car-dominant society that we have here. Some of our big cities, though, NYC, a little bit more, I feel like European feel as far as not as many vehicles. But especially like the Nashville area, it was such a farm-based area. Muscle cars, I hate to put this on Tennessee, but kind of redneck muscle cars, American-made. It was kind of a trend, and it just never stopped being a trend, I feel like.
So how important to you is social media and what you're doing? Does that help you get work, having a good fan base and lots of followers, or?
So a lot of the events that, I was just talking the other day about this, a lot of the events I put in for nowadays, they request your social media. And a lot of times if you don't have so many followers on Instagram, or you aren't posting at least, you know, so many times per week, they won't even consider you. So social media has become a big process of, you know, submitting for jobs, and that's a whole nother kind of avenue that we're having to upkeep to stay competitive in the job industry as well.
So do you think that is a good thing though? Because in the old days, when we were talking about acting, it was about the craft. Now it's about, as obviously they want followers, because they want people. The more followers you got, the more likely they're going to come see what you do, and maybe they'll come buy a Porsche, maybe they'll come buy a BMW, or maybe they'll come buy like a Ford or a Holden or something like that.
I think it has its good and its bad. It is a great marketing tool, but at the same time, I feel like we're focusing more on social media and following and a social media presence versus quality sometimes. And that's not just in the car industry. I feel like that's kind of across the board in a lot of different occupations. So I think finding a good balance between the two, and unfortunately I think social media has kind of tipped the seesaw on that a little bit, and kind of taking control of, it's cooler to, you know, the trend is to have more followers and have a bigger social media presence than actually be really, really good at your craft, which is a sad thing to see.
So what is next for yourself?
Oh, if I knew that answer. Next for myself this year, I plan on sharpening up a lot of my driving skills. I want to be able to do more actually track driving, so that's kind of what I've been focusing on. And I just picked up go-karting, so that's in itself a whole new thing I'm trying to learn as well, and that'll do nothing but help with my driving skills. And then of course I still do some interviews and some side work with some companies at the festivals. So I still do some artist interviews as well in the music industry. So that always brings a little joy to my heart.
So how do you get to do those? How do you get to be able to interview musicians and whatnot?
I still have several friends that are with some different companies that do web and radio content. So both if they need, you know, an extra person to help interview, or they want like a little different voice, you know, for a festival than their regular DJ, I still have some people that reach out. So it's just keeping those connections and keeping those relationships, so making that possible.
Cool. So what do you listen to relax and unwind?
Ooh, that would be a toss-up. To relax and unwind, I don't think you can ever go wrong with some Bob Marley radio, you know, a little bit of reggae to relax your soul. But I have a lot of friends that make fun of me. I also love classical music, and anytime I feel like I need to like sit and de-stress and unwind, I'll put, you know, Beethoven or Bach, somebody on, and just, you know, let those tunes, no words, get into my head and help me relax.
Cool. So I've got one more question for you. I've been asking this to everyone on my trip. This is the question I'm asking because this video series I'm doing has a gimmick. The question is, have you ever bought an as seen on TV product before?
Oh, let me think. As seen on TV. I don't think I ever have. Is that bad?
No.
I've never bought one. I've seen all the commercials and then the sections in the stores, you know, where they'll have it. But I've never bought anything. I've never fell for it.
Love it. Love it. What can I say? Nashville. What a cool city. Here's a couple places I recommend you should check out when you're in Nashville. Jack Brown's Beer and Burgers is awesome. Good selection, a good solid selection of craft beers, awesome burgers, and you're hanging out where the locals are hanging out. Another place that I came across on my travels in Nashville was Hi-Fi Clyde on Church Street. It was an awesome place, sport on the television, awesome food. I ate at the bar, good selection of craft beers, great vibe, and you're hanging out where the locals are hanging out. And I recommend both those places when you're in Nashville because they're kind of my kind of place. Good burgers, good food, good beer, good vibe, good atmosphere, and you're hanging out where the locals are hanging out. What can I say? They tick my boxes.
Kinda like a knife sticking out of my back, warm and smooth like a shot of Jack. One beat shy of a heart attack, but I'll keep on running. Closing in on a long cold night, neath the glow of a neon light.
This has been a Clear Springs Entertainment production. Thanks for watching.